Good morning, everyone. I'm here again in front of our Knysna Hope building, and today for our 315 video, I wanted to talk specifically about the area of youth engagement and how that all works together and how it starts from the very, very youngest ages. And so we'll start with our newest ministry, which is the opening of Mercy Haven. This is a baby saver. And so I'll tell you a little bit about what that is, why it's necessary. I'll step behind the panel here so you can see it behind me. It's a very sobering and very difficult thing to talk about, but in South Africa, we have a real problem with abandonment of infants. And so it is on a weekly basis. We see, even here in the Garden Route, the quiet sort of corner of the country, the Garden Route, we hear news reports of abandoned newborns, abandoned babies being found recently as terrible as in a cooler bag on the beach. And so in South Africa as a whole, there are about 3,500 babies abandoned every year, and those are the ones that survive. And so most of the time, these babies do not survive if they are abandoned because of economics, because of cultural pressures, because of all sorts of things that cause a young mother to be so desperate as to abandon a baby. But there are estimates of about 10,000 babies a year are abandoned. And part of the issue is that it is actually a crime to abandon a baby. And you think, well, maybe that is probably a good idea. It's not stopping the problem. And so we have here behind me what is called a baby saver. And this is just opened last month here at our Knysna Hope building. It is a place to safely relinquish a baby. And so if a mother will come, you typically under darkness, they can come anonymously and place their baby in this box. And so I'll take you inside. You can take a look at what it's like at the other side, and I'll tell you a bit about the protocol as to what has to happen when a baby is received. So there's several people on a response team. The local security company is on call. Their patrol guys are about 2 minutes away. So we have a handful of people that will come immediately. We'll be on site within 5 minutes of a baby's coming. So when the baby is placed in the box, the pressure plate is activated. Once the lid in front on the outside is closed, they can no longer nobody can gain access to the child again. The only place to access is from inside our secure building and from right here. And so then an immediate sort of triage will take place. The basic necessities will be determined what is needed for the baby. And so after that, we work with the local police department to put out bulletins as far as finding a potential if other family members wanted to help. The hospital was notified. The baby was immediately taken to the hospital to be checked out medically. And then the local division of South African Child Welfare will handle the statutory paperwork and things like that. And so it is a sad reality that such a thing is necessary, but it is. And so that is, our youth engagement starts at the very, very, very youngest. We also have a kids club for primary school age kids that run on Friday afternoons here at our Knysna Hope building. That's run by our colleagues Wayne and Kirsty Schmidt. And so our kids get to participate in that too. It's really great to invite young kids of that primary school age to come. It's playing games, it's Bible lessons, that kind of thing. You move up the age groups to our teens. And so you know much about what some of our teen ministries. So you have the Embark Youth Program. It essentially functions as a way to help our local church plants to more effectively disciple their teens. And so we're really it's a way to coordinate our efforts so that we can engage teenagers in a more effective way. So we have the Embark Boys Bible Study, the Embark Girls Bible Study that Tara has been leading for not long after we arrived in South Africa. She's been leading that. So we have those things. And then on a monthly basis, once a month, we'll combine the boys and the girls and do a larger activity. So the different churches in our region will take a month and handle the activity. In August, we did a cooking competition at our house. So we had about 35 teenagers making interesting dishes and things like that at our house and being judged by our esteemed panel of local culinary experts. But it was a great time really just a great time with the teens. We also will do youth camps. As you know, in the past, Before COVID, we would do multi-day camps, and they would come, stay overnight, spend sleep in huge army tents and things like that. Since COVID, we've not been able to do that. So earlier this year, we started our first day camp. So the teens would come. We would have an entire day of preaching, of sessions, of singing, of games and food and all that kind of stuff. And it was a great success. That was back in March. We did it at our ministry facility in George. And we actually are doing another one this coming Saturday here in Knysna. And so we're busy preparing for that. I'm speaking for that as well as handling a lot of the logistics of it. So you can pray for that. That's coming up this very Saturday, that youth event. Moving past youth, we have young adult ministries that meet both here in Knysna and in George. We've also, our teammates have started or are starting a new program, and it will be centered out of our ministry center in George, actually, not here in Knysna, but is essentially a gap year program. So people matric or graduate from high school. They can take our program, which is called the Foundations Program, and it will be training in Bible and things like that. Can stay in dorms that are being built. Fundraising has already taken place for those kind of things to be built, and then from there to be in a better position to be equipped to move on to the next phase, whether that's in employment, further university studies, things like that. And so, our youth, young adult ministries from our Knysna Hope team as a whole are quite wide-ranging, and they really do help serve the church planting and discipleship efforts of all of our team here in the Garden Route. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit quick. There's a lot to say and could have said a lot more, but wanted to make it brief. As always, check out our 315 Initiative page. We have only maybe one or two more videos left that we want to do before we close out the program, before we come to see you all very soon. Take care.